Hello everybody, welcome to your boy Mum's live stream for the evening. Today marks a sad day in the NHL for fans of the Arizona Coyotes. Today's stream goes out to them. Broke my heart watching them in that stadium. Too bad to go. Too bad to see them go. I look forward to seeing what the Utah team's gonna be though. But man, it was... Feel bad for the Coyotes fans because it could have worked in Phoenix. There was a good hockey culture that built up over the years. There's a few really good NHL players from Arizona now in the NHL, notably Austin Matthews, who just couldn't get his 70th goal tonight, but still 69 goals. Nice. That's more than anybody has gotten in the Cap era. So, if anything, the Coyotes fans can say they brought that guy into the league. Definitely going to go down as one of the best American-born players. Though, I'm a Hurricanes fan, so I got to go for defensemen, Jacob Slavin and all. But definitely one of the best American-born goal scorers right there. If not one of the best goal scorers of all time. Because, nobody can touch Gretzky's records, but Gretzky did it in an era that was not nearly as difficult as the modern NHL. Not to put down Gretzky, of course, because his numbers are freaking ridiculous. He's the greatest of all time for sure, but, goal scorers, specifically, parts of their game. Austin Matthews, no slouch on the defensive end of his game either, so far as I've heard. I don't watch a lot of Leafs games. But this is about the Coyotes. I watched that game tonight. I was honestly rooting for the Coyotes, all year. Looked like they finally were going to be good next year and stuff, but... Man. R.I.P. to the Yotes. Alright, let's get this game on the road. Let's start this off with a win. Oh, come on. I punched that fucker. Damn it. I had that guy. Oh, nice try. Nice try. I don't think I have... Oh, yeah, I don't have enough boost. Oh! Oh, hell yeah. Oh, man, I had a clear shot right there. Son of a bitch. This dude. Oh my gosh. Got him. Oh no. Oh. That's alright. I'm still in the top two for sure. I'm in my element. I don't think I've peaked yet. God, they're all above me. Someone can pop out of there. Oh! I didn't even get punched, so some other guy shot me. Oh! Alright, we're gonna talk more about hockey soon after this match, but I gotta space it out. So if you're into hockey, today's the day, dude. Because pretty much, I think all of the playoff standings are set now. I don't think there's any more that can change after tonight's games. There's one more day of games, but I think we're basically back in the preseason for some teams now. They're just playing their rookies and stuff to see what they can do, giving them some ice time. Oh, come on. This dude's literally camping in the wide open, and I couldn't get the shot on him. There was a guy pressuring me. This game, you really need your ears. Holy shit. Some dude went on a tear. Yeah, no way I'm getting first. I'm probably on dead last now. I haven't gotten a kill in a while. Fourth's not bad. In these free-for-alls, I count top 3 as winning. What's up, Besidu? You're Caps fan? Nice. How'd I do on the name? Playoffs are going to be insane this year for sure. Especially with the weird shit that the Capitals are pulling. They're playing 3 p.m. on Sunday. Hurricanes play the Islanders 5 p.m. Saturday. I think that's the first game of the playoffs. I think the Hurricanes had the first game of the playoffs last year too. I'm excited. I don't have the money to go to a game this year though. It sucks. I think this is going to be the year, though. I think the Hurricanes got it this year. But you never know, you know, it's playoffs. Playoffs are so... The weirdest shit can happen. The refs have definitely given people a series in recent history. I'm of the side that I should have been dead there. I'm of the side that the Predators should have lifted that Stanley Cup that the Penguins lifted, like 2017 maybe, because there was a goal that was called a no goal that should have been a goal that would have been the only goal of that game. Would have completely changed who won the Stanley Cup for sure. You're not going to go to a playoff game either. If the Caps lose, you're rooting for the Canes. Thanks, Caps fan. Yeah, you know, there's not much rivalry between the Hurricanes and the Caps. I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel any animosity towards Caps fans in particular. You know, I usually base my love or hate on a team on how their fans behave. Because, you know, the players come and go on a team. It's the fans that stay the same. That's why I hate the Bruins and the Rangers. The Flyers fans are pretty wild. I don't like the way that they treat some of their players. But yeah, we got... I'll look at the brackets soon. How about after this next match? This is still a lobby. Ah! Damn. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a match here. But we got the Capitals playing the Rangers, which I'm gonna be excited for. Because I like to see the way that the Capitals shut teams down. I think that's pretty wild. They just slow down a game. And when they can slow down a game, they have it. And I think that's pretty awesome. I love the Islanders versus Hurricanes matchups that I've seen over the years in playoffs. Hurricanes, I think, have always won those, but I like the defensive style. Holy shit, I almost fell out of my chair. I like the defensive style that the Islanders play. I think the Islanders play the same kind of system the Hurricanes play, which, you know, makes me like it. Oh, that guy totally read me like a book. I just think the Hurricanes play that defensive style a little bit better than the Islanders do. And plus, you know, the Hurricanes have made much better moves this year during the season. Islanders and Hurricanes are basically the same team that met each other last year, except the Hurricanes have more goal scoring. And the Hurricanes also have Andrei Svechnikov, which they didn't have last year, which is a big deal. There were some injuries on defensemen as well. Basiju says he feels like the Caps will either win Game 7 or get swept. I think the Capitals have the ability to do it in 5. I think the Capitals just need to win one game in the Rangers barn. And I think that'll just... I've seen the way the Rangers played over the years. And this Rangers group has been... I don't think they have the heart that it needs. They don't seem to bounce back from, like, emotional losses. I don't think they can handle being beat by the Capitals. I think they have a hot head right now. How's Kuzi been? Kuzi's been great. He's on Natchis's line most of the time, and him and Natchis are a perfect pair. They were really hot when he joined up with the team. They've kind of both slowed down, but they've been very good defensively even. Oh, dude, that was such a mess. But yeah, he's been great. Kuzi's been good. I feel like Kuznetsov has been more noticeable than Gensel, even though Gensel has been insanely productive as well. They have Gensel on a line with Aho, which I think is a good fit because Aho plays a very similar style to Crosby. A lot of hockey IQ kind of plays. Like, that's Aho's strength. He'll do things that you're like, how did he think to do that? I get the same kind of vibes when I watch Crosby. He loves Caps being the underdog, so it's all set up for them. Yeah, I know. This year there's Dark Horse energy. I feel it, and I've felt the Dark Horse energy coming from the West, though. I think the Preds are going to make a deep run. There isn't a team that quite has the same energy as the Panthers had last year, but I think the Predators are giving me some Dark Horse vibes. Especially with that win streak they got that brought them into the playoffs. They got that dog in them right now. They had a few losses recently, but I think they're just gearing up for the playoffs. And we'll see. I don't know who they're going against. Are they tonight was going to decide if they went up against the Canucks or the Stars, I think. If it's the Canucks, I don't think the Preds are going to go deep. I don't think... If the Canucks versus Predators is a first-round matchup, I think that's going to be so exhausting just from the travel that I think that's going to be detrimental for both teams. I should have killed that guy with a punch. I don't know who's coming out of the Atlantic, though. I'm actually going to pull for the Maple Leafs to get past the first round this year. Yeah, dude, the teabagging's a thing in this game. Caps fan. Teabagging's a way of life here. There's even a mode called Teabag Confirmed. I'm doing terribly tonight. I'm usually the bomb at this game, but I'm just bombing now. There's a game mode called Teabag Confirmed where you literally have to teabag the other team for your kills to count as points towards your team winning. And you have to teabag your teammates to take points away from your other team. I haven't played that in a while. They took it away from the regular lineup and made it a special event instead. Yeah, you actually, I think you do, it does still contribute to your personal score in a match. Like in your score standing. I think teabagging other players has an impact on that. On some, there's maps in this game that have like an audience too, and the audience will boo or applaud you if you teabag someone. I like grab my laptop here and pull up the brackets. I'm entering into those NHL bracket competition things. Yeah, let's see here. NHL playoff brackets. I feel bad for the Penguins because they had a really solid run. They looked like they were going to make it. The Red Wings too, dude. That last Red Wings game, I was watching that and I was like, oh hell yeah, they're going to do it. And then the Capitals were like, nope, you're not. Let's see. Thoughts on Cheesesteak fan calling PK Subban a thug for not wearing a suit? I have no idea. Dude, the mods in that chat, I didn't even know he said that about PK Subban, but the mods in that chat are way worse than anybody in that chat. The most batshit crazy shit that that gets said in that chat is said by the moderators who yell at everybody for saying other, like, much tamer stuff. Like Frank, cheesesteak fan, and one of the Leafs fan guys, and that Canucks fan guy. They say some wild stuff. And then they always go to ban the people that are getting bullied. They'll be like someone will be defending themselves, and then they'll be like, hey, you better stop that, you're antagonizing. And it's like, what do you mean? This dude's getting picked on. Someone's poking this guy. Yeah, they are very old. They're getting mad at me for calling myself a Zoomer. One of them DM'd me to keep it hockey related, but everybody else is talking about like things that they did when they were young, and then I was like, I'm a Zoomer. You guys got no devices. Let's see, standings. Dude, why is Googling this so hard? I was able to pull up the brackets. Let's see, playoff tie-breaking procedure, playoff format. Alright, let's see here, West. I can do it myself by just looking at the standings. Alright, Los Angeles Kings. The LA Kings are the bottom, it seems. Yeah, the bottom of the West is the LA Kings, which I did not expect. That's a fall from grace. I'm shocked that the Golden Knights got that third place. Yeah, I hate it when Frank goes hey language when someone says suck too. Because it's not even a curse word. There's much fouler things than suck that get said in that chat. Alright, let's see here. Los Angeles Kings are going to be playing the Dallas Stars. I think that's going to be a fun matchup, but I don't know if I'm going to watch that one, honestly, if there's other ones on. I think the Stars are a great team, but I don't like watching them because their jerseys are so ugly. And I support the Stars. And I just don't like watching the Kings. They're boring. But they're good. The Predators are probably going to go up against the Canucks, which is going to... Yep, that's a terrible matchup for those two. Oh, yeah, dude. Everybody in that chat that's a regular spends time, like, creating drama. It's the most fun stuff. Here. That hockey chat's the best. And sometimes, dude, the best conversations are when it totally goes off topic and isn't even about anything to do with hockey. And the mods are always like, hey, bring it back to hockey, when there's nothing to talk about in any of the hockey games. Tonight there was like no moderators though. There was like one moderator that came in to tell us to stop talking about our age. Like, and nobody was actually saying their ages. They were just like, I'm this generation. This is a generational thing for me. This dude in first is a monster right now. They're going to get on the pistol, though, and the pistol, I think, is going to be where they stop. They're on the pistol now. We'll see. I hear them shooting. Oh, they got past it. I was wrong. There they are. The OG memer. Yeah, he got past the pistol, and you're rewarded with a rocket launcher after that, which gives you a solid head start, and I'm still stuck on the fucking carbine. I've never been this bad. Never been this bad. Yeah, let's talk about the Stars versus the LA Kings. The Stars are a bit of a... I think the Stars win that matchup for sure. Kings are good, but they're kind of like the Islanders of the West. They're strong on defense. They got like a couple scorers. And then the Stars are like a very well-rounded team. They got good defense, good scorers, good grit, great goaltending. Predators versus Canucks. I'm going to the Predators. I don't have anything against the Canucks. That one is a bias. I'm just going with the Predators on that. No reason. Predators got that dog in them right now. I think the Canucks are kind of sunning down for the season. On paper, they're better, but I can't go with that. We'll talk about more matchups after this match, which is soon to be over because I'm fucking getting my ass handed to me. I do not got that dog in me right now. Longest reload. What do you think of those two matchups, Caps fan? This is a little late for my regular viewers, so it could just be me and you, and then they'll watch it after it's up. I got a few Oilers and Red Wings and Chicago fans in my chat, though. There we go. Killed him through his own portal. I at least have that. If I see a dude running around with just fists... Oh, I think that's him. I think that's the... Oh, no, that's not him. Okay. If you see a dude running around with just fists, I gotta punch him, because punching him will set him back. And the guy running around with just fists... Ah, damn it. I'm dead last. Alright, let's look at these other matchups. We got the Oilers in second versus the Golden Knights. Oilers versus Golden Knights, I gotta go with the Golden Knights. I don't want them to win, though, so I'm not going to put that on my bracket. I think the Golden Knights are going to win, but I'm putting the Oilers. I liked the Golden Knights last year. I can't go with that. Can't go with Golden Knights winning this year, though. Can't have them doing that cap shit so many times in a row and actually have me liking them. And I did not like the way they played in the Cup Finals last year. I felt like the refs were tilting it. I was unbiased in that finals because I liked both Florida and Vegas, and if anything, I was still bitter about Florida beating the Hurricanes. But it felt like the refs were handcuffing the Panthers on all of the shit that they were doing and letting the Golden Knights get away with a lot of egregious shit. And that kind of stuff is what turns me away from a team. So I can't root for the Golden Knights twice in a row. I want them out in the first round. Oilers. I like McDavid. I like all my friends in Alberta are Oilers fans. I think it's amazing what the Oilers have done this season. They finally got a defense, it seems, and their goaltending is not bad. I don't think their goaltending is as bad as even the Oilers fans make it out to be. Cass fan says he thinks Dallas is going to win for real. He's so excited, though. His Sunday can't come sooner. Yeah. Saturday is going to be dope. I'm going to have to figure out what times all the games are so I know which ones I'm going to watch. Here, let's see. We still got time. Winnipeg Jets versus Avalanche. That's the first time on... And maybe the only time... No. There's the Maple Leafs. That's one of two times I'm going to be taking the Canadian team over the American team. I like Nate McKinnon. I like Cale Makar. I think they're... I honestly think they're an anomaly in being a Canadian duo that doesn't get talked about enough. And I don't know why, because the Avalanche are very worth talking about all the time. And Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon are just insane together as a defenseman and offenseman pairing. They got that dog, Nate Dog. But I think the Jets are going to get past the first round this year. They've slowed down in the later half of the season, but I think they still got it in them to get past one round in the playoffs for sure. All right, that's all the first round matchups in the West right there that I just talked about. The wild card spots in the East are Tampa Bay and Washington. That's the Lightning and the Capitals. Let's see here. One in the Chamber and Highwind for sure. Tampa Bay is going to be going up against the Florida Panthers, which is going to be just a very fun series. I'm excited for that. I think Tampa's going to win it. Tampa's been pretty freaking weird lately, and they got that kind of RNG thing that the Capitals got going on, but Not to the same extent as the Capitals. I think the Lightning, I think Vasilevsky versus Bobrovsky, I gotta go with Vasilevsky. I love the Florida Panthers. I think I like the Florida Panthers more than I like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I love Matthew Tkachuk. You think Florida will win? That's fair. I mean, Florida should win that, but I think Tampa Bay is going to win it. I think that's going to be an upset. I think on my brackets, I'm still going to put Florida, though. Because I want Florida to win. When it comes to, like, brackets and shit, I go with the scenarios I want to happen. Because that way I'm not rooting against the thing that I want to happen. Just because of what I think was most likely to happen. But I think Tampa Bay has the ability to upset in the first round. Florida's insane, though. And I think that's a crazy thing to say coming out of my mouth, but I don't know, man. I think the Capitals are going to beat the Rangers. I think there's going to be 2 upsets there in the first round right there. I think the Capitals heated up at the right time. And they have the weirdest record right now. Negative 38 now after that last game, but it was negative 40 going into that game against the Flyers as their goal differential, which means they let in 38 more goals this season than they scored, but they still are in the playoffs. Let's see, are they above 500 even? Yeah, they're 555. I think that's lower than, let's see. Yeah, that's the lowest of any team in the playoffs for their percentage. Yeah, I think Capitals can beat the Rangers. Ovechkin's got it in him. I think... Now, I don't think that the Capitals can get past round 2, and it's not just because they'd be playing the Hurricanes that I say that. I think that they're just too old. There's a thing about having a veteran core, but there's also a thing about... I think they'll get tired. I think they're key parts. Ovechkin even. Ovechkin's a monster, but I think he's going to get tired, dude. It's a lot of hockey he's played this year. A lot of adversity he's gone through. I know he's not the only goal scorer that the Capitals got, but they need him to be a goal scorer to get through the playoffs. I think TJ Oshie as well. TJ Oshie's a monster as well. He's great. He's a very clutch goal scorer. And the Capitals are capable of just slowing you down to play the way that they want you to play. But I don't think that they're going to have the stamina to get deeper. I think especially playing the Rangers. Rangers aren't afraid to get gritty. I know the Capitals aren't going to shy away from being gritty either. But the Rangers can handle grittiness. Like, they're young enough. Their bodies can handle getting scratched up. I think TJ Oshie, he gets banged up, he's going to be out. I think Ovechkin, you know, he's a tough guy, but he's getting old, you know. Eventually he's a tank right now, but I think eventually he's going to, that one hit's going to hit him. Where he's going to be like, oh, that doesn't feel right. He's getting to that age. Like, Ovechkin, he's not that old, like, in reality, but in hockey, you know, even in modern hockey, like, he's kind of, there's plenty of players older than him that are, but those players that are, like, around his age and older, they look much better than Ovechkin looks. Oshie basically being held together by duct tape, it's sad, I know, dude. He's like a shootout machine, too. Like, I watched a lot of clips of his shootouts, and that was just crazy. His ability to do a shootout is just insane. Like, he's a crafty player. He's done some clever stuff this year that I was like, how did he pull that off? Because he doesn't, like, physically, he does not look like he can play the way that he does. Yeah, and the Capitals also have that goaltender, that Lindgren guy. I think he can take a series for them. I think he can get them a series as well. Especially with a team like the Rangers, where you know who the goal scorers are. Because that's a weakness, I think, that the Rangers have, is they got great goaltending, goal scoring, I should say, which is a strength. But you know who the goal scorers are. You know who's going to be scoring it, and that gives the goalie, a good goalie, an edge in the end. Oshie has a nasty counter hit, yeah. A lot of those guys with that kind of body can stop up. Even, you know, I'm a simp for the Canes right now. Sebastian Aho has, like, counter hit so many people this year that, like, it was like, Aho should have gotten laid out by some dudes. Aho's pretty tiny for a hockey player, but big guys will come and try to hit him into the boards, and he just stops into them, and the dudes, like, fall over, and it's like, he's got to be, like, packed with muscle that you just can't tell, because he looks like a skinny, like, skater dude. But sometimes people that are smaller but muscular are more like a fire hydrant, you know? That's some big dude that's, like, tall and stuff. He's gonna just, like, hit, but it's gonna hit him in, like, a weird place because they're hitting something lower than them. Alright, let's talk about the next matchups. So Hurricanes versus Islanders and Boston versus Maple Leafs. You know, Canes have a lively team for sure, yeah. Yeah, and I like that. One thing that's a strength of the Hurricanes is that you don't know who's going to be scoring. You know, you got Gensel, you got Kuznetsov, you got Aho, you got Natchez, you got Svechnikov, Jarvis. Let's see, there's probably some dudes I'm forgetting too. Teravainen. And then that's just the offensive players. You know, you got some of the top scoring defensemen as well. You got your Brent Burns, Jalen Chatfield, who's gotten a few goals this year. Then there's Orlov. We all know Dmitry Orlov can get some banger goals. I mean, you're a Caps fan, you know Orlov. He can also fucking land a hit. And then you got Brady Shea, who just had a career year with goal scoring. I think he got more than 20 goals this year. So, like, you can get goals coming from any of the lines, any of the people on the ice. You can get it from, there's going to be slap shots coming from the blue line. There's going to be up close shots. There's going to be tip-ins from, like, Nason and Stahl. And then you got Slavin and Pesci. Yeah, dude, Orlov's a turn. I was disappointed with Orlov at the beginning of the year because he wasn't scoring. He was a minus, like, 16 at one point, which you do not want from a defenseman. You don't want a minus at all in any of your defensemen, especially on a team that is very defensive like the Hurricanes. But Orlov turned it around, him and Chatfield, to become a very good pair. And then, you know, there's also, if Orlov or any of the defensemen are out, you got Tony DeAngelo, who's a killer on a power play quarterback, and he's got that scoring too. He plays like a forward, but he's on the blue line, and he passes really, he has a really good hockey IQ. Tony DeAngelo is kind of underrated because of his attitude, but he's been there for the Hurricanes when they've needed him this year. He's kind of the seventh defenseman. They've used him as a winger. Like when Andrei Svechnikov got hurt and Marty Natchez got hurt, they brought in DeAngelo to play as a winger to fill in. And he's a defenseman. There's another, I don't know why I keep doing that double tap. There's another young defenseman that played really good in a couple of games as, like, they were testing him out, and I don't remember his name though. There's a lot of young defensemen that are in the Hurricanes pipeline. But they got backups. They got backups for people, you know. Goaltending's not an issue anymore because Kochekov's insane and Anderson's there. long as they don't both get injured. You know, Anderson's getting injured is a very strong possibility, but Chekhov's been a pretty tough cookie. And if the Hurricanes face the Bruins, I mean, Kochetkov got his like NHL start in the playoff game against the Bruins, and he almost got into a fight with Marchand. And he doesn't take shit from people, and he's a fireball. And then let's see. I mean, I think the Hurricanes take the Islanders. Someone was a Caps fan that said they think the Islanders take the Hurricanes. I think the Islanders are a good team. I like the Islanders. I love Patrick Waugh. I actually have a trading card or whatever, baseball card of Patrick Waugh from like the 80s, or it's like an early card of Patrick Waugh. I think he's a great coach. He's done really good stuff to the Islanders, but I don't think that they have that depth. You know, they have a great defensive system, but they have like only a handful of goal scorers, and you know who's going to be scoring their goals. Have the Canes built any roller hockey rinks? He knows the Caps and other teams are doing that to build hockey culture in places where people don't/can't play. I don't know if they built any roller rinks, but there are ice rinks in Raleigh, and there's rinks like quite a few rinks around Charlotte as well that the Checkers have built over the years. The Hurricanes, I know, are very, very involved with the community hockey, though. Like Rod Brindamore coaches youth hockey in Raleigh. So do a few of the players, and so do some of the old veterans that used to play on the Hurricanes. Like, now this is like blasphemy, but I forget the guy who there's a dude who joined the Hurricanes Hall of Fame this year. He was on the cup run with Brindamore, and he also coaches youth hockey in North Carolina. There's a lot of the old hockey people. I know the announcers too. The Hurricanes announcers also coached youth hockey. One thing that I think is needed, though, college sports are a big thing in North Carolina. Like, everybody knows about North Carolina's college basketball scene, especially in the Raleigh area, because you got the Wolfpack right there, the NC State team, who almost made it to the finals this year in March Madness. Duke and UNC are right there too, like in the same area. It's the Triad, or the Research Triangle, sorry, is what it's called. The Triangle. The Triad is like Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point. But we need college hockey in North Carolina. That's what's needed. And I don't know who can make that happen. NC State should have a team. So should Wake Forest, because Wake Forest has access to the rink the Hurricanes originally played in. It's like a 40,000 seat arena in Greensboro. That there's like, it's like a whole complex. There's several. I think there's like 3 different basketball courts that can convert into rinks in that complex. So there's like 3 different colleges right there that you could use it. Like, there's one in High Point that's a wealthy school. There's Wake Forest, which is a medical school that has some good sports, and then there's Greensboro College that could also use it. You thought NC State had a team? I don't know if they do. If they do and I'm wrong, then tell me, because I would love to know. I'm just not familiar with it. There are a lot of minor league hockey teams, though. Like, in Winston-Salem, there's the Thunderbirds, which is a FPHL team. The SPHL, which is the Southern Prospects Hockey League, is based out of the Charlotte area. My friend is actually the commissioner of that league. And there's a team in that league that plays out of Fayetteville. It's also like a lot of people play hockey here now. There are a lot of people that like passively as like a hobby play hockey. Because it's pretty hard to rent a rink for you and your buddies. You have to do it in advance. But I think for sure the next step in growing hockey in North Carolina is going to be getting some college teams going. If there are already college teams, then they need more, so that you can have that rivalry between schools. Like, I mean, imagine if Duke, UNC, and NC State all had hockey teams. There'd be... There you go, you'd have another pretty legendary rivalry already built up between those schools. That would automatically get people into it. And then the Charlotte area has the Charlotte Checkers, which is pretty popular. A lot of people like them. There's like a dozen rinks with local teams that play out of them. That are like, they're not very professional, but they have their own tournaments and stuff around Charlotte that I know of. Oh boy. The problem too is if you're in like the coastal or the mountains in North Carolina, then there isn't really any hockey near you. There aren't any rinks or anything, which is weird because there's plenty of ski resorts up in the mountains. And then like the Wilmington area could definitely support like at least one rink for like locals to just play at. But that's not necessarily a priority for anybody out there. Fuck. Back to the matchups though, but I was excited to talk about the Bruins versus Maple Leafs. Because I think that this is a year that I think the Maple Leafs are going to get the Bruins this year. I have a hunch. That's all. It's a hunch. I think the Maple Leafs have ironed out quite a few of their weaknesses. I think they're going to get into the second round. I think the Bruins are more sundowning. Bruins are a scary team still. They're a great team. You know, Pasternak's unreal. Marchand is a dick. Their goalie tandem is the best tandem ever, and this is coming from someone who hates the Bruins. Bruins are truly a menace, but I think that the front of the Maple Leafs has become what the Maple Leafs have needed them to be, which is a forward grouping that can backcheck. Like Austin Matthews, like if you look at his backchecking numbers, he's pretty good. Pretty good at supporting his defensemen, which is a weakness that like every Canadian team has had for years, is they're very front heavy, and their front heavy groups don't help out their back end. And I think that's the ticket that the Maple Leafs have needed to get past the Bruins. Ooh, that turnaround right there. I just flipped the table on those two. I almost had that lady. NC State Ice Pack, they 9-0 right now, and Tar Heels are 2-7. I guess I gotta get into the Ice Pack. I gotta get into those that college basketball, that college hockey. That's kind of crazy because I honestly never hear anything about it. But I'm not in the Raleigh area. My brother lives there, and he went to NC State, so I'm a Wolfpack guy by default. I also don't... There's a thing, and I don't know if you know this, but there's like a thing with Duke and Chapel Hill where people go there and they become Duke and Chapel Hill people. And you don't have that with NC State. NC State more so just kind of like, if you're not there for engineering or agriculture, you're basically wasting your time at NC State because they're going to just screw you over. But the culture there, you don't have people coming out of there being like douchebags, which is what happens with Duke and UNC, is they come out of those schools being like robots that are douchey. They all just pump out, Duke and UNC pump out these like pretentious pricks. It's because they're expensive schools, I'm sure. Like, one thing is the Duke and UNC rivalry is treated like it's some like rich dudes versus like a working class school, where like Duke is supposed to be the rich school and UNC is supposed to be this like working class school. But UNC is like all rich kids, Duke is all rich kids, and they come out of those schools being douches. Like, I've known people that I was friends with in high school that were pretty cool coming out of high school. They were like really cool people that were fun to hang out with. And then you hang out with them now and they just are pretentious know-it-alls. And it's all of them. Like, and they talk the same. I don't know what happens to them in UNC and Duke. I do not know what happens. I don't understand it. Like, Duke, I know, is like a prestigious law school, and UNC, I don't know what they're good for. They might also be a prestigious law school for all I know. Like, I know NC State is one of the best engineering schools, particularly for like computer science and aerospace engineering, which are pretty serious engineering things. And then agriculture stuff is also NC State. And then there's UNC in Charlotte, which is an engineering school, like really strong engineering school. There's a lot of financial schools in Charlotte. But I couldn't tell you what UNC is good for, other than turning people into assholes. Which sucks, because honestly, when it comes to like the merch for the North Carolina college sports, I think that the Tar Heels colors and logo are cooler, and their mascot's cooler. I like the Ram. Alright, let's talk about second round matchups. So, second round matchup based on what I thought would happen. But let's go through the potential matchups, okay? First of all, let's say that the Hurricanes lost, which tastes like shit coming out of my mouth. But let's say the Hurricanes lost and the Islanders face either the Capitals or the Rangers. Let's start with the Capitals. I think that the Islanders and the Capitals would be probably the slowest hockey that we've ever seen, because both teams like to slow down the other team. That one will be about, and you also know who's going to score goals on both of those teams. Like, I just think that's going to come down to Ilya Sorokin. Hopefully I didn't get him confused, because I actually like the Islanders goaltender, but my brain is in Splitgate mode, so I can't think of everybody's name right now. But yeah, the Islanders goaltender, I think, would take that series for the Islanders. It'd be incredibly slow, and I think that there would probably be like 12 shots total a game, with maybe no penalties even. So the Islanders can get pretty gritty when they want to, and they can rack up the penalty minutes when they get into a mood. And then let's say it's the Islanders versus Rangers. That would be a very fun one, but I think the Rangers, if they get past the Capitals. What the fuck did that guy say? Can you guys hear what these guys are saying?
Not me. Someone else for sure.
They can't hear me, though. One of them said some like Call of Duty 2012 or 2006 even. Call of Duty lobby shit. Predating the real Call of Duty lobbies. But I think the Islanders would lose to the Rangers in a series. It would be a very brutal series. I don't think that the Rangers would come out of it capable of beating the next team, though, because that rivalry runs strong. I think whoever comes out of that series is going to be too beaten up to be able to get the cup. They might take another series, like get to the finals, but I don't think they'd be in any condition, especially when I'm thinking about the matchups that could happen in the West. I'm not thinking of any team really that would get as beat up as the Rangers would coming out of that, and then facing like the Bruins or Panthers after facing the Islanders in like a serious rivalry match. I think the Rangers would come out of that losing some teeth but winning. So I don't think the Islanders could possibly get past the second round, even if they beat the Hurricanes. Let's see, Lightning. Let's go with the Lightning next as their basis. Let's say the Lightning beat the Panthers. They go up against either the Leafs or the Bruins. I think the Lightning could take out either the Leafs or the Bruins. I don't know. That'd be a very close matchup. Tonight, the Lightning spanked the Leafs, but the Leafs and the Lightning were kind of playing their young groups. They were really benching a lot of their key players. They had their best players out there trying to get records. Congrats to Kucherov. But I think that the Lightning versus Bruins or Leafs would be a rough one, because like the Lightning can play beat up. They would be very beat up coming out of that Panthers thing, the Panthers match thing, the Panthers round one. But I don't see them like being counted out, because I've seen the Lightning playing like looking like zombies and drag their way through the playoffs before. Like I think, I don't know, I don't want to say that they would take both of them, because I feel like the Bruins could take the Lightning. I feel like the Bruins could take the Lightning. I don't think that the Lightning would have enough in them to get to Game 7, especially with the Bruins going through the Leafs first. Because the Leafs are a lot of things. They're not going to beat the shit out of your team. They're just not, especially between the Bruins and the Leafs. Like, the Leafs are definitely coming out of that more worse for wear. In fact, I don't think that the Leafs are going to be able to get past the second round. I'd like them to, just because, you know, I don't like the way Toronto fans are cocky and act like they own hockey. But I still want that for them, you know. You know, I don't hate the Leafs. I don't hate Leafs fans. I like a lot of Leafs players. I think it's kind of funny how the Leafs are consistently good but never get past the first round. Ah, shit, that guy got a good headshot. But I don't see the Leafs getting past the Lightning or the Panthers. I think they're going to beat the Bruins, personally. And then if the Bruins face the Panthers, oh boy, that's going to be a fun little matchup right there. If the Bruins go through the Leafs again, I'm lagging for you really badly. Your Wi-Fi is ass. Anyways, did I watch the Fallout series? Not yet. I have not watched the Fallout series, Milkman.
Get off Splitgate. You're terrible.
I'm leaving this one because the dude's fucking talking and his mic is awful. If I'm lagging for you, is it terrible? Caps fan, how is my voice? Am I lagging like crazy? I don't have the stream pulled up on my end. It says I have 0 dropped frames, which is what I go off of. Caps fan says that he loves the Leafs planning the Stanley Cup parade route every year. I mean, yeah. Hockey Psychology, the YouTube channel, has been rolling with that all year. They've been saying, like, having a Leafs Cup parade tracker, saying if it's on or off with each game that the Leafs play. I think tonight Leafs fans were talking about how, like, they need to relocate it. But I don't know when the Leafs fans are just memeing on themselves and, like, acting like they're the saltiest fans, or if they're actually that terrible. And I don't mind it, because they hate their own team more than they hate anybody else's team. Let's see. Milkman says, as a man who's played Fallout 3 and 4 to hell and some of New Vegas, he says it's a 5 out of 10. My voice is fine. The video isn't. Okay. Sorry about that, Milkman. But I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen the series yet. I plan on watching it. If it's what I've heard of, then I'm optimistic. You know, I'm not expecting the greatest show ever, but I just want it to be respectful of the source material. Not have like a Mary Sue protagonist, which sounds like it doesn't. It sounds like they actually have like just a good female protagonist, which is a whole new realm for Amazon. I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it. I've heard nothing but good things. I know there's a few things in it that aren't the best, but they all seem to be more of like a budgetary issue, like the aesthetic. You know, they didn't have the budget to make it look like Fallout. And I don't like that it's in California, honestly. I feel like it's boring to me, but that's, you know, where the first few Fallouts took place. There's a lot of established lore in California, so I get it. It's also an easy place to locate it because there's plenty of deserts in California that you can just say are wastelands. Even though they did most of their filming in New York. I think most of the filming for the Fallout series was done in like upstate New York. And then I think they did some of it in a desert in Africa. But I don't know. You're drunk? Okay, no worries, Milkman. You only join in to hear Mum's commentary. She isn't a Mary Sue, just a lot of retcons, millennial humor, weird writing. Ah, man, I hate the fucking millennial humor. Yeah, I heard that there's a lot of Marvel jokes, Marvel-style jokes. Which, buddy, they got... I feel like I can only handle Marvel-style jokes in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like... that Thor movie, the third one, was... I really loved that Thor movie, but then they just, like... it was just way too much of that those shitty jokes. The Taika Waititi style humor. The dude is like a human circle jerk. And it gets old quick. Yeah, let's get back to talking hockey. Let's see, what was I talking about? I was talking about the Leafs. I think the Leafs, I've already said they're going to get past the first round, in my opinion. I don't think the Bruins are going to do it this year. I think that this group of Leafs players have consistently lost to the Bruins, but they've consistently done pretty all right against the Bruins. I mean, I think they're the Bruins' legitimate rival. You know, there's a lot of, like, rivalries in the NHL. I think the Leafs versus Bruins rivalry is legit. And I think that the Leafs are due. And just because they're due doesn't mean they're going to do it. I think that they have the skill and they've made the right changes to back it up. But lastly, let's see. There's another pairing I haven't gone over. Oh, that's my wrong computer. Let's see. If the Capitals, yeah, I've done the Capitals. I've done the Lightning's potential things. Now, I do think that the between the Hurricanes and the Rangers, I've ran through it and said that the Bruins, or not the Bruins, the fucking Rangers are going to be really beat up if they face the Islanders. If the Rangers, God forbid, beat the Hurricanes, I think the Hurricanes are just going to wear down the Rangers. But I think that the Rangers or the Hurricanes are going to take the East. I think it's the Metro divisions to win in the East and represent them in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's going to be Metro versus West. I don't know what you guys think of that. I mean, the Panthers, the Bruins, the Leafs, they're all great. The Lightning. I think of the teams, honestly, in the Atlantic, I think the Lightning are the most likely to take the East. I think that the, I don't know, something about it. I know the Panthers are better than they were last year, but last year they came into the playoffs with so much momentum. I do think that the Panthers can get around. They can win around. I just think the Lightning have more of that dog in them, you know? Oh, shit. They're gonna pick a route. Oh, shit. Casfan says he'd rather have the Leafs win than Boston. Yeah, but Boston and the Rangers are probably the two American teams I'm going to root against. That I root against, you know? Not a fan of either of those teams. And it's because of their fans' behavior. The Islanders fans can be pretty annoying, but they're not as bad as the Rangers. Let me tell you, like, the Islanders fans are some of the saltiest fans. As being a Hurricanes fan and having faced them so much in the playoffs, Islanders fans are not graceful. But they're not, like, horribly obnoxious when they come to the Hurricanes stadium, which is another way that I judge them. And I truly do like the Islanders play. I don't feel like they're overrated. I do feel like the Rangers get a little overrated. We got to start talking about the West, though. So let's just say, for scenario sake, we're going to say that the East could be Rangers, Hurricanes, Panthers, or Lightning coming out of the East. Just to, because we're not going to go against like the whole thing when it comes to the West, who I think is going to win in the West, and how I think they'll match up against their potential pair in the East when it comes to the Stanley Cup Final. Oh, dude, that was a top-level move. Shit. That was not a top-level move. There. Okay, let's head on down. We've talked about our matchup opinions in the West already. Basically, I think the Kings... Let's say the Kings first. We're going to start with the wildcard guys, and then work our way up from there. The Kings and the Predators. I think the Predators are the team that's going to go all the way in the West. Just to put that out there. I've been saying it since, like, December. And I just got to stick with it, you know? I've said it too long to change. You know, facts are facts, but, you know, feelings are a whole other thing. Feelings can be unreasonable, and I unreasonably believe that the Predators have got it, you know, and I can back it up. I'm going to back it up first, and then we'll go breaking down potential matchups, and who else I think could legitimately take the West. I think the Predators have some insane goal scoring going on. They have really good depth. They've got very strong defensemen. Like, they got a really underrated group of defensemen. They have defensemen who are capable of making insane plays to their scoring forwards. And they've got UC Saros. And UC Saros, I think, is as good as any goalie in the league. Honestly. UC Saros is a monster. And he can be this year's Bobrovsky if they let him. Dallas Stars, just really good. My key issue with the Dallas Stars, and I've seen them kind of overcome it this year, but my key issue with the Dallas Stars when it comes to them performing in the playoffs is their top scorers seem to lose any confidence when they start getting beat. And this is the thing I've seen them have in the playoffs. Like, I know it's like silly having a Hurricanes fan talk about a team have their goal scoring dry up just all out of the blue. But I think the Stars, I've seen it in the Stars. And you can see it in their faces when they're playing, which you don't see that in other teams like you do. Like, Robertson, I think his name is. He seems to just like lack confidence, and he's with confidence when he's playing good. He's amongst the best in the league. But when something happens on the ice, like there's always something that happens on the ice in the games that they lose, where you see in his face just like the pressure just builds in him, and he doesn't hide it well when I'm watching him. And granted, I don't watch a lot of Stars games just because, you know, they're on so late, and there's other teams in the West that I prefer to watch over the Stars. But that's my thing. And they have a great goaltender. They got a great defensive system going. They got some solid depth players on the Stars. Like, they're top of the West for a reason. But I think the Stars, let's see. They're up against, let's see, the Kings first round. I do think the Stars could beat the Kings. I don't think the Kings are going to get past. I don't think if the Kings get past the Stars, I don't think they're going to get past their second round matchup, which will be either the Avalanche or the Jets. Let's see. Avalanche, if they go to the playoffs, they could go all the way. That's the thing that everybody's known. My thing is, Avalanche have kind of fallen off it coming into the playoffs. And they're not like the Florida Panthers, where the Florida Panthers can fall off it, and you're just like, oh, they're just getting ready for the playoffs. Like, we all know that the Panthers can just be bad and then just perform all of a sudden. The Avalanche are one of the best teams in the league, for sure. Nate McKinnon and Cale Makar are like a pairing that can carry them. And they got good goaltending, you know. But I just coming into the playoffs, I don't think that the Avalanche are going to go far. The Jets, they kind of have the same thing going on. But I just think the Jets are going to get past it this year. I think the Jets and the Leafs can get past the first round this year. The two Maple Leaf teams, on the two teams with Leafs in their logo, they're gonna get it into the second round this year. But past that, let's see. The Jets would be playing either the Kings or the Stars, and I I don't think that the Jets, after playing the Avalanche, can beat the Stars. They might be able to beat the Kings, but I think the Kings can out-defense the Jets pretty hard. I don't know what how their matchups look throughout the year. Maybe I should pull that up, but like after doing this, I should look up. Let me know if that's something you want. I think I'll do that on the playoff day. Probably Friday night, maybe. Because I'm all in on the playoffs. But I think that the Jets are going to, like, not get past the second round. Stars or Kings can beat the Jets. Avalanche, I don't think they're going to get past the first round, but if they do, and whatever, they can win it all. If they fix whatever it is going on during the playoffs, they're going to be a menace. They got that dog. They are the dog. I mean, that's Nate McKinnon. He's the Nate dog. Let's see. Then the other one. Let's start with the Edmonton Oilers and Golden Knights rather than Preds versus Canucks. Because, you know, Oilers are the other team carried by a star player. You know, right up there with Nathan McKinnon. They got Draisaitl too, you know. I think the Oilers can beat the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't think that the Oilers have a good matchup going into the Stanley Cup Finals, though. I think Panthers, Hurricanes, Rangers, Lightning. I think all of those teams can handle the Oilers in a finals scenario. Golden Knights. Let's see here. He said, remember when Lane came out and said he had a Fortnite addiction? Apparently he actually played crazy hours. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember people giving him shit for that. What did they do about it? What did they do about his... Did they take away his, like, PlayStation? Yeah, I'm not going to even pretend that I think that the Vegas Golden Knights can get past the first round. I mean, they're menacing. Their center ice performance last year was just ridiculous. Their ability to shut down teams in the middle of the ice was inhuman. But so many players are gone. You know, that's the thing with the Golden Knights. They just sell off their team after every season, and that's just frustrating. It's one of the reasons why I can't really root for them, you know. Adin Hill is really good, but I feel like I think he's still, like, in his first few years in the NHL, isn't he? Like, last year was, like, pretty close to being his rookie year, wasn't it? Like, there's not a history there with Adin Hill that we can point to, at least in my knowledge. They bunked him with someone who wouldn't let him set up the game in the hotel. That's pretty funny. Lane, he's talking about. That's hilarious. He has a keeper. But yeah, I just don't think that the Golden Knights are the team they were last year. They still got Mark Stone, you know, they're the injured reserves. They abused the cap. But I think it's going to bite them in the ass this year, actually. I don't think they're going to get past the first round. Oilers are, I guess, I never think of the Oilers as a Canadian team. I don't know why. You know, they are a very Canadian team. They just don't have that Canadian team vibes this year. And the fact that I have so many friends that are Oilers fans, because I have friends in Alberta, but I don't think of them as Canadian because Albertans don't act the same as other Canadians. But yeah, I think the Oilers got it. I think the Canucks are first round exits. I think you know, Predators are gonna beat them. In the scenario that the Canucks win, though, I think the Canucks could beat the Oilers. I think the Oilers could beat the Canucks, but I think the Canucks have a better shot at beating the Oilers. I think that there's going to be a pretty... Whoever wins between the Predators and the Canucks, they're going to have enough time off to recover from that harsh traveling conditions that they have to go through for that. That's a huge distance they have to cover between matchups. I think that it's going to be Predators in 5, though, honestly. I think the Canucks are only going to win one game in that series, if I were to call it. And, you know, this is all speculation, of course. This is just my take on what I've seen. Like, Predators, I think they're on the, they're, like, in a U shape, you know? They were really good a couple years ago. They've been on the decline, but still been solid. This year, they were shockingly good. Like, people were surprised how good they've been this year. And I don't think they've gotten the attention that they've deserved for how good they've been this year, for, like, what they've got going on. They got that Florida energy last year. They got that Dark Horse energy. They don't have the grittiness, and there's not as much attention on them that Florida had last year, but they got that shit going down. You know, UC Saros is scary. Forsberg has been really impressive this year. They got those guys on the Predators that get that last goal that's needed in a game. And that's what Matthew Tkachuk was for the Panthers last year. He hasn't really been that as much this year, and that's why I'm not as scared of the Panthers this year in the playoffs. Like, the Panthers are a great team, but I just don't think they're going to do it this year. And the Predators, I think they got it in them. I think they can get it all the way to the playoffs. Canucks also, if the Canucks make it. I think it's that pairing. Predators versus Canucks is what I'm thinking is going to come out of the West. But let's say the Stars... Honestly, the Stars, Jets, and Avalanche all have a chance too. Those are all pretty good teams. But let's narrow it down to 4. We got 4 on the other side. What do you think of this so far, Caps fan? Give me a list of 4 teams from each East and West that you think could get through the playoffs and into the finals. Like, 4 teams, that's a lot of teams still. That's like, you know, 8 teams. That's half of them. But first of all, I think my personal opinion, as in, like, what I want to happen, Predators versus Hurricanes. I think Hurricanes are going to win that. But Predators, you know, if they get that far, they're going to be like, people are going to be like, what the fuck? They're going to have that what the fuck energy. And they've got no pressure at it, you know? The Hurricanes have all the pressure in the world. They're the team that's supposed to do it this year, you know? And that's a lot of stress. But the Hurricanes, the thing is, the Hurricanes do well under pressure. I've never seen the Hurricanes this year just shut down, except for, like, that first part of the year where they had the 2 back-to-back 6-game losing streaks. But a lot of that was chopped up to their goaltending falling apart before Kochetkov was made the starter. And then Kochetkov was made the starter, and they didn't have to worry about it anymore. You know, a lot of it was Ranta falling apart and Kochetkov not having that, like, having enough games consecutively in the NHL to come into form like he has this year. So I'm not worried about the Hurricanes succumbing to pressure, because I just don't see it ever in their game. I never see them. They never seem to stop playing the way that they play, even when they're down by like 5 goals. They just keep playing the way the Hurricanes play. They put on pressure and they shut down the other team, and they shoot as many shots as they can. Like, they shoot more shots than they should. Just because they just have that confidence to blast the goalie as many times as they can. And then, let's see, Predators versus Rangers. I can't go with Rangers, but I think the Rangers would win in that scenario, honestly. That was a headshot with a rocket launcher right there. I don't know. I would be rooting for the Predators, and I want the Predators to win it in that scenario. But I think my thing is, I think the Predators are going to make it to the finals, but I don't think they're going to beat any of the teams they meet in the East. I think the Predators are going to get on a hot run through the West, but I don't think they're going to... I think they're going to run out of luck. And I think they're going to be too tired to do it once they get to the finals. Because you have to think, with the Nashville Predators, they're so far from a lot of the teams that are in the West. Like, the best case scenario is they beat the Canucks, which is a lot of travel, and then they face the Golden Knights and not the Oilers. But I mean, even then, like, it's a lot of travel to go from Nashville. And then best case scenario after that is that they face either Dallas or Colorado, just travel wise, just not having to go so far. And then, you know, they'd be closest. I think the team they're closest to that's in the playoffs is like the Hurricanes, which are in the East. Which is not good. I do think that travel wears down a team over time, because it's exhausting to play a hockey game and then having to get on a plane and fly for hours. Like, that's when they're going to be sleeping, is on the plane. After a while, they're just going to have permanent jet lag. Let's see, who else do I have? I think the Canucks would get through as well. I think it's going to be between the Preds and the Canucks to take the Pacific. Canucks, I think the Canucks would lose to the Hurricanes. I think the Canucks could beat the Rangers. I think the Canucks could beat the Lightning, but I don't think they could beat the Panthers. Let's see, Stars. Stars would be tough for the Hurricanes. I think the Hurricanes and Stars would be a very even matchup, but I think the Hurricanes would beat them out in depth. Just sheer amount of like goal scorers they have. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hurricanes on that, but I think that if the goaltending for the Stars gets hot and the Hurricanes once again has their goal scoring dry up at the worst time, I think there is a scenario where the Stars could... I mean, there's a scenario for all of this, but I think that that's a really close series that I think it could beat either of them. Jets, I don't think the Jets... I think Jets kind of have that similar thing to the Predators, in my opinion, where I don't see them beating anybody that they could meet in the East. Honestly, I think they can make it to the Cup Finals, but I think that any of the team that I think would come out of the East, except maybe the Lightning, would beat the Jets. That's not including like every team that's in the East, though. There's plenty of teams in the East I think the Jets could beat in a Cup Final, but of the teams that I think are going to make the Cup Final, I don't think the Jets are going to win that. Avalanche could take it all. I think the Avalanche could beat any of the teams that I think would come out of the East. I think they'd have the easiest time, actually, with the Panthers, because I don't think that rough style works on the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche can take it on the chin and just keep playing. I think the Rangers or the Hurricanes would be the toughest. And I think it'd be equally, for different reasons, why they would be toughest for the Avalanche to beat. But it would be a very fun playoff series to watch. I think the Hurricanes would be able to beat the Avalanche, but I think the Avalanche could also beat the Hurricanes. What the Hurricanes have in depth, the Avalanche have in star power. And they have their stars aren't just on the offense. That's the thing. A lot of the teams that have star power, their stars are all offensive players, or they have a star goalie. You know, I wouldn't say Georgiev is necessarily a star, but he's very close to being an all. Like he makes All-Star game regularly, but he's not like a star goaltender like Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Saros. Those guys are. Bobrovsky even, but I do think that Georgiev's on the level of Bobrovsky, but without that, like, Bobrovsky can steal games, like, way better than I think Georgiev can. Even though Georgiev, I think, impresses me more than Bobrovsky. Like, it looks much harder for Bobrovsky to play as good as Georgiev does, even though Georgiev isn't as impressive in recent memory as Bobrovsky has been. Bobrovsky gets cold much more than Georgiev gets cold, in my opinion, and from what I've seen. I've seen Bobrovsky just fall apart and disappear out of nowhere when he can just be one of the most ridiculous goalies ever. But yeah, I think if I were to rank it for the Avalanche's pairings in the East, I think the Avalanche would take out the Rangers more likely than the Rangers would take out the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche would take out the Lightning more likely than the Lightning would take out the Avalanche. I think that the Panthers would lose. I think the Panthers are the most likely to lose against the Avalanche. But I think the Hurricanes and the Avalanche, I think the Hurricanes would beat the Avalanche. But it would go to 7. It'd be a long series. And both teams would really pay the price for it. Let's see, Golden Knights, nah. I don't think the Golden Knights are going to get that far. Oilers, if they do make it to the finals, I don't think they're going to beat any of the teams. I said that. Kings, nah. I don't think they're going to make it past the second round. Yeah, I guess that means I've said the most likely one is Hurricanes versus Predators, but that's like my opinion, like what I want to happen most likely. What I think is best odds of happening would be the Hurricanes versus like Stars or Avalanche. But I don't think the Avalanche, I think the Avalanche just are gonna, I don't think they're gonna get their shit together. I think they're gonna get out of the first round before they can fix it. Fix what's been going on these past couple of games. Like, I think the last Avalanche game, they have a very recent 7-0 loss, which is not good. And it wasn't like they were just playing, I don't think they were just playing their rookies like a lot of the teams have been doing lately. Like, I think it was the Avalanche top players on the ice getting shut out 7-0. And it was ugly. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about the playoffs for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my rambling about the playoffs. RIP to the Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes. They're off to become the Stormin Mormons up in Utah. That's not their actual name. I made that up. It'd be pretty dope, though. The Utah Sister Wives, the Salt Lake Sister Wives. Would be a good name for the Utah hockey team. A lot of people are saying the Yeti, but I think the Yeti would be I think that's a terrible team name, honestly. I just don't like it. Plus the Avalanche, like, the Avalanche already have a logo that's a foot, like a Bigfoot foot. People have also suggested the Sasquatch and the Yeti for the Utah team, and I don't like it. I think the Yeti it just doesn't sound like a good team name. I like the name the Pioneers. That's one that I've heard that I think would be a pretty cool one for the Utah team. Pioneers is a cool name. Prospectors would be a nice name. People were saying that you can't have a team called the Miners when there's another team called the Predators, because you can't have a series between the Miners and the Predators. So, like, if they were going to go on their mining history, I think Prospectors would be the best one to go with. Pioneers would be a cool one, because, you know, that's the people that came to Utah. Pioneers that weren't part of a cult. I have another joke name for them because they have the iconic arches that are in Utah. So they could be the Golden Arches. Which is, if you guys don't know, that's a nickname for McDonald's. It'd be pretty funny if they were the Golden Arches, though. Because it would fit, you know. Their license plate has arches. They are gold colored because it is sandstone. And I want to know what team colors are going to go with. Because the Arizona Coyotes were kind of all over the place. They have maroon jerseys. They got black, green, and red jerseys. They've had purple jerseys. I mean, they're probably going to go with a completely different color scheme. They could be the Coyotes, but, like, because, you know, Coyotes would still be fitting for Utah. But, you know, that name has kind of a bad connotation to it now. And they don't have to take on the colors of the Coyotes, you know. When the Hurricanes came from Hartford, they didn't keep the green except for special occasions. They became red because that was NC State's colors. They're going to be in Raleigh. Initially they were in Greensboro, but their destiny was to come to Raleigh. That's what they were intended to do. Though I do kind of wonder, you know, the Hurricanes could have stayed green and blue. It's a nice shade of green, and it's a nice shade of blue. I like the striping on the Whalers uniforms, I gotta say. I'm not as big into the Whalers logo as a lot of people are. But I do like... And, you know, they could have... Honestly, they could have kept the logo, too. Because it's an H. You know, it's got a W in it, but, like, it's a whale tail. They could have been the Hurricanes, and it'd just be the H. You know, whales... The fin would also work for that, because, you know, hurricanes are in the ocean. I do like the Hurricanes logos, though. I like the Hurricanes logos more than I like the Whalers logos. Fuck. Yeah, I think... Hang on. I'm gonna exit this match. Let me pull up... I've unlocked 4v4. And is it ranked? Oh, yeah, it's ranked 4v4. That's the first thing that I read. Alright, let's see here. See, I don't have an actual, like, NHL playoffs bracket here pulled up. Bracket 2024. Alright, let's see. I want to see the brackets, and I want to see one that shows Brave Browser just did an AI generated bracket. It's cool that they can do that, but I would like to see one that has like the records of these teams against each other, you know? Because the Hurricanes have lost to the Capitals this year. Oh wait, no, the Hurricanes aren't even playing the Capitals yet. The Hurricanes are playing the Islanders. I can't believe I forgot it already. I'm tired, but I'm dedicated to this. I don't know how I can pull up the fucking NHL. Here we go. Eastern Conference first round game schedule. This is an article. Thank you, NHL. NHL has a fucking bracket. What's the deal? Let's see. First round matchups. CBS Sports. You gonna help me out here? Don't give me a billion pop-ups, man. Alright. This is a bad... How did they mess this up so bad? Bro. It's number 2 is on the CBS Sports. Boston Bruins current first round matchup, Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 3, Toronto Maple Leafs current first round matchup, Florida Panthers. How did they fuck that up? They have the Bruins going against the Maple Leafs in the first round, but the Leafs going against the Panthers in the first round. How is that going to work? That's not... Did they not even like read their own article before publishing it? What? I opened the USA Today one and they just brought me to basketball after I closed an ad. That's retarded. I'm not even in the Brave browser. Now that I think of it, I'm on my Chromebook. It's Chrome. Google is failing me. Let's go in the Brave browser. Here. NHL playoff schedule. Let's go with that. I still don't have... I want to see how these teams did in the regular season, man. Super 16? Is that what they're calling it? That's articles. More articles. I want to see the fucking bracket. Last year there was a thing. It was like the first thing that came up was a bracket that had the histories of the team's previous matchups. Like, I want to see the season series. Standings here. Let's see. Score schedule. ESPN has a ton of things up. Do they have a bracket? Fantasy hockey, maybe? Nope, that's not a bracket. Where are all the tools? Where are all the damn tools? Alright. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hang on, let's see this one. One more. This one wants me to pay. No, I'm not paying. Sorry about the ending. Sorry to the Coyotes fans. Sorry you guys lost your team. That's got to feel terrible. And I'd feel like shit if I lost the Hurricanes. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.